Why doesn't my wife respect or admire me? I get this question a lot. And the reason for it is men want to know that in the eyes of their wives and their partners, that they are respected and admired. There's a reason why a man wants to be respected and admired. And it goes back to this innate need that he has to know that he is a good man. See, men, when they stand in a room with other men, they want to know that they are the most successful man in that room. So what happens to a man when he doesn't feel respected or admired by his wife? He paints an image in his mind of who he is. And the only conclusion that he can draw is that he's not a good man. He's not a good man because if she respected and admired him, then she would by default like him. You've got to like someone to be able to respect and admire him. But if you don't like someone, you're not going to respect and admire him. Well, who do we not like? That's people that are bad people. That's why he's deathly afraid of not being respected or admired, because he's going to be seen as someone that she doesn't like. And therefore, the conclusion that he draws in his mind is that he's not a good man. So what does a man do when he has conflict with his wife or she's got feedback for him? Well, he cocoons. See, men aren't used to communicating with their wives on deeply emotional issues. We grew up listening to our mothers, maybe the daycare worker, the pre-K, or the kindergarten teacher, and then we get into grade school and we're mostly surrounded by women. It's really not until we get older that we start interacting regularly with a male figure. Now, I know we all have fathers, but if you were like me, my father wasn't around. So the only person I had in my life was my older sister and my mom. So every time I got feedback on my behavior, it was always framed in my own mind that I'm somehow bad. And this is what men struggle with. And so a woman, when she's trying to communicate with her husband, she forgets to remind him that he's a good man. He automatically goes into fight or flight. Maybe he stonewalls. I've heard of men that go silent. They won't talk to their wives for days on end. The big issue is that he can't separate who he is from what he's said or done. When we're walking down a major city street and we see someone overdosing on the sidewalk, we have a choice to make in that moment. Do I see a drug addict or do I see a brother, a friend, a sister, a cousin, a good person? See, a lot of people don't make that distinction. They attach what someone's done to who they are. And this is what he grows up with. He grows up thinking that I am what I do. And this is what we need to undo, because what it leads to is to that little boy syndrome where every single time his wife comes to him with some issue or feedback about what he said or done, he shrinks down into that little boy. Well, there's an antidote to this. And this is what I call the journey of mature masculinity. See, men are on a journey that never comes to an end. In fact, my father didn't fully mature until 2 days before his death. Men need to unlearn this idea that we are bad because we've made a mistake. And so chances are, if you've got a husband or a partner who every single time you go to him with an issue shrinks into that little boy, that's just a telltale sign that he is letting his fight or flight nervous system response take over, and it's blocking his ability to think creatively, to think objectively about the situation. He becomes too subjective. He becomes too entrenched in whatever pain he caused you. And so his natural conclusion is that I am bad. Thankfully, that man, when he chooses to lead inside of his relationship, he's going to confront his own little boy syndrome and say, I am on this journey of mature masculinity, and I'm going to grow out of this so that I no longer need to be reactive towards my wife. I can be responsive. And this is the first shift that men need to make. They need to make a decision in their mind that I'm going to leave behind reactivity and I'm going to choose responsiveness. But the only way you'll do that is if I give you this image. We are all in a movie. We're not only the actors in the movie, we're also the directors of the movie. We're also the writers of the movie. And it's up to us to decide when it comes to interacting with our wife. Do we want to be the actor? Do we want to be the director, or do we want to be the writer? Now, odds are if she's coming to you with an issue inside of your relationship, let's say you forgot to do something, you forgot to pick something up at the store, or you made a thoughtless comment in front of a bunch of friends. She's coming to you with pain in that moment. Now, the actor in that is going to respond and react to her pain and is going to push back because, again, I don't want to be that bad man. So I'm going to go to her and I'm going to push her away. I'm going to yell. I'm going to get big. I'm going to do whatever I can to create distance between me and her. But see, the director would say to himself, actually, This isn't the best way for the movie to end, unless I want it to end in a tragedy. But I can direct the movie in such a way that it doesn't need to end in a tragedy. It can be a romantic comedy. Wouldn't it be great if we could turn that frown from our wife into a smile? Well, the only way that we'll do that is not leaning into her pain with our own pain. The best way to do that is to lean into her with connection, the intimacy that tells her that she is safe, that she's safe with someone who's not going to respond to her from a place of reactivity, but someone who's going to respond to her from a place of holding space, connection, reminding her that she's okay to share what she needs to share, because I'm going to write the ending of this movie in my own head. And the way that I'm going to write that is first by telling myself I can be a good man regardless of the mistakes that I've made. I can be a good man in her eyes even though she's upset with me in this moment. So this is the choice between reactivity and responsiveness. But the only way that you're going to do that is if you have an image in your mind of the role that you want to play. Do you want to be the actor? Do you want to be the director? Or do you want to be the writer? Now, if I choose to be the writer so that I can turn this tragedy into a romantic comedy, the way that I'm going to do that is with self-talk. I'm going to remind myself every single day that I'm not what I do. Who I am is the values, the morals, the commitment, all the beautiful qualities and the covenants that I bring into this relationship. And I speak of this often. See, I bring in fidelity, loyalty, commitment, transparency, honesty. These are the values that I attach to my identity. The fact that I forget something or the fact that I'm overly insensitive to my wife at times when I'm stressed out, I don't allow those moments of mistakes to form the image that I have of myself inside of my marriage. And so knowing that I bring these incredible qualities, these covenants, these values, and these morals into our marriage, I now get to stand with my head held high, knowing that no one on this planet can be perfect. See, if everyone could be perfect at all moments of the day, you would have no need for couples therapists like myself. But if you're anything like me, you could be thoughtless, lazy, and insensitive, usually a couple times before lunch. So it's not about being perfect. We're not striving for perfection inside of relationships. We're looking for progress. We're looking for how can I show up better in my relationship every single day. And the way that you'll do that as a man is if you remind yourself that I'm going to choose responsiveness over reactivity. I'm going to see myself as the writer and maybe the director in this movie, but definitely not the actor that's going to be reacting to her pain. Self-talk is the path forward. You're going to remind yourself that you're a good man. You're going to tell yourself that you're more than your mistakes. You're going to look at all the values and the covenants that you bring into your marriage that make you an honorable man, that make you a successful man, that make you a good man. And those values that you bring into your relationship are going to allow you to hang your head high and feel good about the man that you are. Now, if this video helped, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Come and follow me over on Instagram. It's Jonathan Van Vegan. I love nothing more than to help you build a relationship in which you feel chosen and cherished. Thanks so much, guys. Bye now.